Hello friends, and welcome to Light on Granite with Diana. This is week 2 of our Gentle Yoga for Fun series, and our focus today is hips. You are going to need a pillow, a block, and a belt for class today. Once you're ready, we are going to come onto the floor into staff pose. So extend your legs out in front of you. Elongate your spine. We're going to have our hands on our mat on either side of our hips. And feel free to keep a slight bend in your knees if that feels more comfortable to you. And then I want you to close your eyes and take a few breaths. Take a nice inhale, sweep your arms up, gaze up, bring that right hand to your side, onto the floor, arch that left arm overhead towards the right. Nice side stretch. And inhale, come back up and switch sides. Left hand down, right arm stretching towards the left. And then inhale, come back up. We're going to release those arms and we're going to come into a gentle twist. So let's first look over our right shoulder. And then gentle twist, looking over our left shoulder. And back to center. Let's do a quick ankle rotation here. So just move your feet in a way that feels good. And release. And then we're going to shake our legs for a moment, get the blood circulating. And release. Now pull those feet together in front of you. We're going to come into our butterfly pose. We're going to elongate our spine, take a nice inhale, and then we're going to flap our wings, bringing those bent legs up and down. And release. Slide your hands slightly behind your back, fingertips pointing forward. We're going to bend our legs and we're just going to windshield wiper our legs, letting them fall to the right and to the left, to the right, to the left, and release. Slowly make your way into table pose. And from table, we're going to move into cat-cow. So we're going to inhale our head up, drop our belly, coming into cow. Exhale, round that spine like a cat, bringing your head down. Inhale, head up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. And then come back to neutral spine. And from here, we're going to come into wag the dog. So I want you to look over your right shoulder and pull your right shoulder towards your right hip. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Pull our left hip towards our left shoulder. Let's do that a couple more times on the right, on the left, on the right, on the left, and back to neutral spine. Excellent. From here, we're going to come into some body rolls to help loosen up. So I want you to move in a way that feels good to you. And we're going to go one way. And then the other way. And then back to neutral spine. From here, let's bring those hips back onto our heels, extend our arms out, coming into child's pose. And then from child's pose, we're going to come back up into table and push up into downward dog. Feel free to keep your knees bent. And then go ahead and alternate bending those knees just to loosen up those calves a little bit. And then gently lower those knees back down, release those toes, push back into child's pose. And then you're going to come back into table. And from here, we're going to come into chaturanga, but a modified version. So from table, we're actually going to bend our elbows, bring our chest down towards the mat, sweep it up, push up into our arms, lifting our chest, coming up into an upward facing dog. And then push back into child's pose. And then push back up into downward facing dog. And we're going to do that 2 more times just to help ourselves warm up here. So come back down onto your knees, into table, come into chaturanga, upward facing dog, and push back into child's pose. And then come back up into downward facing dog. Release down to your knees, table, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and push back into child's pose. Take a nice deep breath here. Let it go. Now, friends, we're going to push back up into downward dog. But from downward dog, we're going to be moving into pigeon pose. So I want you to inhale that right leg up. Keep it square with your hips. And then we're going to bend that right leg. Bring that right knee in between your hands. We're going to lower our pelvis and our back leg down to the mat. And then depending on how flexible you are, you can pull that knee out to the side and you can plug your toes and walk that leg back, creating a deeper stretch. Once you're situated in pigeon, you can decide to stay here on your hands with your torso up. Or if you'd like to join me, I'm going to plug my fingertips in, take a nice inhale, and then exhale. Forward fold, bring my torso down to the mat, hinging at the elbows. And then inhale back up. Exhale down. Inhale back up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Release those fingertips. Have your hands flat on your mat. Take one nice deep breath and let it go. And then plug those toes on your back foot. Create some space. Slide that right leg back. And then come into a child's pose. Beautiful. Now we're going to move into pigeon again. This time with our left leg. So I want you to push into downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg up. Keep your left leg square with your hips. And then bend that knee, bring it forward. Bring it down to the mat and decide if you want it facing more forward or if you can pull it out towards the left side. Inch that right leg back if that feels good to you. And then once you're situated, you can either stay here or you can plug your fingertips in and follow me as we inhale and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. And then one last time, come up, release those fingertips. Just breathe for a moment. And then go ahead and plug those back toes, create some space. Move that left leg back and come into child's pose. Excellent job, friends. So from child's pose, we're actually going to come up onto our knees. We're going to grab our block and have it close by. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to step our right foot forward, coming into a low lunge. Make sure your knee is aligned over your ankle. You can see your big toe. And then inhale those arms up, gaze up. From low lunge, I want you to push that knee forward towards your toes. Do a gentle back bend. Stretch those hips a little bit into equestrian. And then come back to low lunge so your spine is neutral. And we're going to release our hands down. And now we are going to do this same sequence using a block underneath our right foot. So take a moment, get your block situated, get your right foot on top of your block. Yet again, try to make sure your knee is stacked over your ankle to start. Once you're there, inhale, arms up, low lunge. And then when you're ready, start to push into that right knee. Gentle back bend. You should feel much more of a stretch in your hips now. And then come back to low lunge. And we're going to release our hands down, but we're going to release them on the inside of our right leg, bringing them down to the mat. And depending on how flexible you are today, you might want to plug in your fingertips, or you can have your hands flat. And we're just going to take a moment here. So if it's possible, let your torso fall closer to the mat, hinging at the elbows. It's okay if your knee opens up to the side or if it stays nice and vertical. Whatever you prefer, you're still getting an amazing hip stretch here. And breathe. And gently come up. And take a moment, move that right foot back, and then we're going to step our left foot forward. We're going to do that same sequence on the other side. So inhale, arms up, low lunge. And then push that knee forward, gentle back bend, equestrian pose. Then come back into low lunge. And release those hands down. And get your block prepped. And then go ahead and get your left foot on your block, knee stacked over the ankle. When you're ready, inhale, arms up, low lunge on the left side. And push that knee forward, gentle back bend, equestrian pose. And then come back to low lunge. And then we're going to release those hands down on the inside of our left leg. And you decide how low you want to go today. And breathe. Beautiful. Gently come up. Move that left leg back. You can move your block to the side and push back into a well-deserved child's pose. And then come back up, friends. We're going to come into a seated position on our mat, coming into a wide-legged stance. So go ahead and spread your legs as wide as they want to go today. We're going to elongate our spine. And first we're going to do side stretches. So we're going to inhale that left arm up and bring it over towards our right toes. And then inhale back up. Right arm comes over towards the left toes. And then inhale back up to center. Release those arms down. Move your block in front of you. You're going to put your hands on top of your block. And you're going to slide your block forward. until you start to feel a good stretch in your hips. And then I want you to hold this forward fold and breathe. And inhale, slowly roll back up. Go ahead and put your hands underneath your knees, pull your legs together. Excellent. So from here, we're going to come onto our backs into bridge pose. And from here, we are going to do 3 rounds of bridge pose before we move into some other stretches here. So go ahead, inhale, pull that torso up, create space underneath your back. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, down. One last time. Inhale, hips up. Let's hold this here for a moment. And gently release. Excellent. Grab your strap. And we're going to want to stay in this same pose that we're in here. But let's put the strap underneath the arch of our right foot. Hold on to that strap with our right hand. Keep that left leg bent. We're going to extend that right leg out. And then we're going to inhale it up towards the ceiling using the strap to help us pull our leg up. If you need to keep a slight bend in your leg, feel free to do so. And then I want you to pull that foot closer to your head just for a moment. And then bring it back to vertical. And gently release it down. Now I want you to release that bent left leg and straighten it out. And we're going to inhale that right leg back up again. And when you're ready, we're going to release that right leg towards our side. Try to keep your sit bones plugged into the mat. It's okay if your foot does not reach the mat. Our hips have varying levels of tightness. Some people are more flexible than others. Wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. And breathe. Inhale, bring that leg back up. And you can bend it, take the strap off, and then lower that right foot down. Keep that right leg bent. And now we're going to move the strap to our left foot, repeating that same sequence on the other side. So when you're ready, you're going to extend that left leg out along the floor and then inhale it up overhead. And then go ahead and pull it slightly closer to your head. And then back to vertical and gently release it down. And now I want you to extend and straighten that right leg. And then we're going to inhale our left leg back up. And then when you're ready, slowly lower that left leg to the side, keeping your sits bones plugged onto the mat. There might be a difference in the flexibility of your legs. That's perfectly normal. And breathe. And inhale that leg back up. I want you to bend that left knee, but keep the strap on your left foot. And this time, I want you to bring your right foot in to the strap as well. And then we're going to slide our feet out, having our knees bent. We want our bent knees wider than shoulders distance apart. Our feet, the bottom of our feet facing the ceiling, holding on to the straps with either hand, bending those knees. You should feel an incredible stretch in your hips here. It's a modified happy baby pose. We're just going to hold this for a minute. A moment, really. Beautiful. Now slide those feet together. We're going to have the soles of our feet touch. And then we're going to lower our feet down so they're closer to hip height. And then go ahead, using the straps, pull those feet in towards your hips as you try to push and open up your bent knees. Reclined cobbler's pose. And then gently release. You can let go of the strap. Bring your feet down to the mat. And we're just going to go ahead and do another windshield wipery here with our legs just to loosen things up again. So let your legs fall to the right, fall to the left, fall to the right, fall to the left. And then we're going to come on to our right side into a fetal position. And we're actually going to put the strap on our left foot. And we're going to keep our right knee bent. We're going to extend that left leg out. Support our head with our right hand. Hold the strap with our left, and then when you're ready, inhale that left leg up towards the ceiling. Try to get a nice, good stretch. And gently lower it back down. And now we're going to straighten that bottom right leg. We're going to do the same action with our top leg. So inhale that left leg back up. And gently release it down. You can release your strap. I want you to bend both of your knees, have your feet touching. And we're just going to do a clamshell stretch here for a moment. We're going to do 3 rounds. So I want you to inhale that bent left leg up towards the ceiling. And exhale, bring your legs back together towards the floor. Inhale, open that left leg up. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Wonderful job. Now we're going to move on to our left side and repeat that same process. So this time, your right foot is going to be in the strap. When you're ready, inhale that right leg up. And exhale it down. And straighten that bottom left leg. And inhale that right leg back up. And release it back down. And you can bend your knees, release the strap, and we're going to do the clamshell stretch. So again, bent knees together, feet touching. Inhale that top leg up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Great job, friends. So let's come back onto our back into that beginning stage of bridge pose again. So legs bent, torso on the mat. And I want you to cross your left leg over your right. Open your arms up into a T. And then we're going to let our legs fall to the right. Feel free to look over your left fingertips. We're coming into a supine twist here. Doesn't matter if your legs touch the ground or not. Inhale, legs back to center, uncross. And then we're going to switch the cross of our legs. So right leg crosses on top now. Let your legs fall towards the left as your gaze is over your right fingertips. And breathe. And inhale back to center. Uncross your legs. And then slowly, we're going to come up into table pose again on our mat. At this point, friends, we're going to start to move into our restorative poses. So I want you to bring your knees wider than mat's distance apart. Make sure your feet are touching. We're going to pull those hips back towards our heels, and then we're going to stack our forearms on the mat, creating a pillow for our head, and then gently lower your head down onto your arms, and breathe. So our restorative poses are poses that we hold anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes less. But these poses initiate deep tissue release. And that's one of the incredible values of doing these types of poses. So as you're breathing and you're settling into the pose, you might notice some discomfort. If you need to have your arms on a pillow, you can feel free to do that. You also have the option, as the stretch gets more intense, to bring your knees closer together. Remember, you're in control. This is your body. Do what feels good for you. Try to even out your breathing. Nice, smooth inhales and exhales. And for a moment, we're going to try to bring our breath into our back. So I want you to visualize bringing your breath into your upper back, filling and expanding your upper back with breath, and letting it go. And then we're going to move to our middle back. Fill your middle back with air. And let it go. We're going to do the same thing for our lower back. Expand the lower back with air. And let it go. You're doing a great job. Just a little bit longer. Keep breathing. I want you to take a nice deep inhale and let it go. Very slowly, I want you to lift your head, lift your torso, come up, and go ahead and come into a seated position, having your knees bent, and just take a moment and feel free to rub your shins, rub anywhere you feel some tension in your legs. Wonderful. So from here, we're going to come onto our backs and we're going to do a different modification of happy baby pose. So I want you to hinge your bent knees forward. You're going to plug your hands in underneath your knees and then let your legs rest onto your hands, locking them in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to let our legs gently start to fall open, and the gravity of our arms will hopefully pull our arms down towards the mat, creating this comfortable yet deep stretch in our hips. Smooth out your breathing. Try to welcome the stretch. Our hips are filled with tension as our lives are busy and we have lots of stress. It likes to store up in our hips. That's why these restorative poses are so important, to help us release some of that stored tension, to help our body function better, to be lighter in general. You guys are doing a great job. Few more breaths. I want you to take a nice deep inhale and let it go. And let your legs come down to the mat. Feel free to windshield your legs right and left, right and left. Loosen things up again. And then release. So next pose, friends, is we are going to come into a reclined goddess pose here. And what we're going to do is we are going to take our pillow. We are going to put it underneath our legs. We're going to have the soles of our feet touching. And you can decide how close you want those feet to your hips. And then slowly, we're going to lower our torsos down to the mat. And this might be enough for you today as you Relax and let those hips just gently open with gravity. But if you'd like to intensify the stretch, feel free to inhale those arms overhead. You can have them extended straight, or you can hold on to your elbows or to your wrists, whatever works for you. If you do this, this will also stretch out your stomach as you're opening your hips. And then from here, friends, I want you to just relax. Let everything go. Smooth, gentle breaths in and out. If thoughts come to you, as they inevitably always do, while you're trying to be peaceful and quiet, acknowledge them, but then let them go. Try to let them be like clouds passing in the sky. And bring your awareness to your breath, to the stretch that you're feeling in your hips, and to any other sensations that you may be feeling in your body. You're doing a great job. Try to release any tension you're holding in your body. Let your forehead be smooth. Let your jaw be relaxed. Your shoulders have fallen away from your ears. And take a nice deep inhale. And let it go. Slowly bring your knees together. You can move the pillow. And now, friends, we're going to come into a resting pose for a moment here before we transition into our breathing exercise and our meditation practice today. And it's up to you if you want to come into corpse pose, so extending your legs and your arms out, lying on your back. Or if you feel more comfortable in a fetal position, you're welcome to do that as well. And just completely relax. Notice how your body's feeling. Have smooth inhales and exhales. Take a nice deep inhale and let it go. If If you're in corpse position, please come into fetal position. And then everyone, slowly push yourself up into a seated position. So from here, friends, before we move into our breathing practice, feel free to sit on a chair if that's more comfortable to you than sitting on the floor. And if you decide to stay on the floor, you're welcome to use your block or your pillow to sit on in any variation you prefer that you can be comfortable. So get situated in a pose that feels good to you. And then once you're there, I want you to inhale, elongate your spine, pull your crown towards the ceiling, and then we're going to rest our hands on our heart and close our eyes. So for today, we're going to do natural breathing A. So we're going to be inhaling, expanding our chest, filling our lungs with air, and expanding our ribs till we can't take any more air in. And then I want you to hold it and gently exhale. And again, inhale, expand the ribs, expand the lungs, fill the chest with air till you can't take any more in. And then you're going to hold it and gently exhale. Please continue at your own pace. If your mind starts to wander, bring your focus back to the expansion of your chest, the warmth of your hands on your chest, the feeling of the air moving in and out of your nostrils. And gently release. And you can release your hands down into your lap. Stack your palms one on top of the other, palms facing up towards the sky. Feel free to have the tips of your thumbs touching if that feels good to you. This is the universal mudra here for our hands. We're going to make sure our spine is nice and elongated. Take a nice inhale. Let it go. Close your eyes if they're not closed already. And now, friends, I want you to bring your attention to your hips. And I want you to imagine on your inhale, you're drawing out residing tension in your hips that you're not even aware of. You're drawing it out into your lungs. And on your exhale, you're exhaling that tension out of your body with a colored smoke, whatever color you want it to be. We're going to have this visualization as it helps release tension more than if we didn't. So go ahead, focus on that inhale, drawing stress out of the hips. Exhale, letting it go as colored smoke. Continue. And then I want you to bring your awareness to other parts of your body that you normally hold tension. And do the same practice. Inhale tension out of that part of your body. Exhale it as colored smoke. And then release. And let's just sit quietly for a moment with our eyes closed, peaceful. Take a nice inhale, sweep those arms up towards the sky. Put your hands together in prayer, bring them down to your heart. And bow your head to your heart. Thank your hips for all they do for you, all the movement they bring into your life. And then thank yourself for your practice today, for taking time to do something good for you. Hoping to see you again soon. Thank you so much for taking this time with me today. Sending you love and light. Namaste.